Daily Motor Podcast, sponsored by All Brand Cereal.
Oh, yeah, they're back as a sponsor.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I'm surprised Labatt doesn't want to sponsor it.
Who?
Labatt Blue. Canned gluten.
That should be their slogan.
Canned gluten.
Canned gluten. We should start a beer company and call it canned gluten.
Canned gluten. All right. I'm down.
Not like Daily Motor beer or anything like that.
No.
Canned gluten.
We can brew it out of here. We've got 4,000 square feet.
Yeah, we'll brew it right. Yeah.
Yeah. Might as well. Cool. Canned gluten.
Let's strip the interior of Peggy and turn her into a
mobile brew station for canned gluten.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, back to the cars. I'm going to cut all that out. That's fine. Bread is also kind of in between, like crackers. I honestly think it's the yeast.
I thought that goldfish crackers.
Fuck, you're right. Well, I think it depends on if like their yeast content and what kind of cracker it is. Because you're right, saltines fuck me up. But
saltines do.
Yeah, but like those water crackers that I love very much actually. Those aren't too bad. What is a wheat that doesn't really?
What is a water cracker? Like the ones you put in soup?
No, those are saltines. Water crackers, like the fancy ones you have with cheese, are round and like very thin.
Oh yeah.
And little, yeah.
Or they're called water crackers because they don't taste like anything.
I think that's probably right. Yeah, this place is really going downhill. Did you see James May released a new video today on his unemployment tube?
No way.
Yeah, he
makes gin now, you know.
That's what
what it's about.
It's promoting his gin. He's showing you how to make a gin and tonic, but he just
James
and obviously
May.
we're just shameless Top Gear.
Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Enthusiasts here, but he has such just a way with his content that his presentation and everything is just so good.
I don't see
So
it.
casual.
JM's unemployment tube.
Yeah. Or JM's unemployment too. It's that one. It's a channel he started at the start of.
I don't. He must have deleted it because it's not here.
That'd be remarkable because I watched like 3/4 of it. I'd be in a.
His last post was watch step-by-step build tutorial of an Airfix model.
Making gin. Are you on the Wi-Fi?
Oh, it must be inappropriate.
Yep. Probably because of gin. Yes. Yeah, that'll fuck with you. I was getting on Keone's case at one point because I was like, he was trying to show me a new video that came out. I'm like, dude, it's not coming up on your channel. You must have not like published it right or whatever. And it was just because of our Wi-Fi.
And there it is.
There you go.
Yeah, so he makes gin. Jeremy now makes beer.
Does he?
Yeah.
At his farm?
Hoxton Lot. Yeah, he grows all of the
barley.
And
Oh,
he
I need to
makes
get
a
some
beer.
Jeremy beers for this podcast.
You can't.
In the
so
US?
you can have the James gin in America, but you can't have the Jeremy beer in America yet.
Kind of racist.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can have the James made gin, but I don't really like gin, so I would want the beer. I don't want to try the beer.
I didn't really care much for gin until recently either. I always thought it just tasted like pine trees.
Yeah,
but
I'm too young. I'm too young to drink gin.
Right.
You're getting closer.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Well, I'm getting married next weekend.
Yeah.
So, gin and tonics.
You're gonna start going when you sit down after next week, aren't you?
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna hear like a grill start up. I'm gonna have to go critique their grilling technique.
Start mowing your lawn at like 6 a.m.
Yep, with my white New Balances.
Yeah, that are now like a slight tinge of green.
And my jean shorts that are jeans that have just been cut.
And you've already planning to get a Camaro convertible, so it's
I'm already on that. Yeah. Yep.
All the stars are aligning for.
I guess so. For Mr. Dryer.
Mr. Dryer.
No, gin and tonic's been my go-to drink at press events lately.
You do? Yeah, I have noticed that.
Yeah,
I have.
It's just it's good, but not too sugary. Although tonic soda is actually quite sugary.
A lot of the like old ornery journalists get that drink too.
Yeah, I guess I'm just becoming one and start complaining about
everything. Just start bitching. Yeah.
Welcome everyone to episode 25 of the Daily Motor Podcast.
We're a quarter century.
Yep. Thank you, Chris. I'm gonna take the words right out of your mouth. Are there any good songs that start with 20 that are called 25?
No, but we missed.
I forgot to listen to the one I told everyone to listen to. William Long, did you listen to the song we told everyone to listen to?
Yeah, he definitely did.
All right.
We missed the 21 one, which would have been Green Day, right? 21 Guns.
Song called 21 Guns. I'm sure a lot
25.
of people have songs called
There's got to be a song called 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't there an Adele album?
Called 25. Go ahead and look it up.
Adele.
You and I have similar shorts on today. You've got the
I know.
blue
It was just too hot today.
pastel, and I have the
Green pastel.
green pastel. In fact, if I were to give you my shirt, it'd look remarkably blue.
Yeah. Double blue. I'm just wearing a black T-shirt because that's the only thing I ever wear anymore.
Right. Also, uncommon for you to be in a baseball cap.
Oh yeah, I just.
Is that because of the convertible?
Yep.
Sun?
Yeah, I drove the F-Type here today, so I had to keep rocking the hat. Didn't want to get even more sunburn than I did yesterday.
Right.
What was I looking up? Oh, Adele. Adele. No. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Okay, so there's an album by Adele from 2015 called 25. She names all of her albums after the age she was when she recorded them.
She was 25 in 2015?
Yes.
Well,
so her first album was called 19, and then her second album was called 21. Her third album was called 25, and now the one she just released last year is called 30.
So Adele was releasing albums as of 19. You and I have some work to do. Maybe the total number of people who have listened to this podcast are like the number of songs Adele's released.
Do you ever get that sometimes where you see someone's success when they're literally like 18, 19 years old, and you're just like, everyone does their own thing, but it's just you have that moment where you're just like, holy shit, like what am I doing?
Well, for me, it's becoming a little bit more of like, it's now starting to this point. I'm sure everyone feels this at various ages, so they're like, shut the fuck up, you're still so young.
Right.
But like, I feel like
never too late.
Yeah, I was always like, oh, I could still blank. Like I still have a lot of time. Now it's kind of starting to get to the like, I'm just starting to transition to that point where if I were to do anything impressive now, it wouldn't be impressive for my age, quote unquote.
Yeah, unless
I think about like mid-20s is about when
there are some things you could do that would be impressive though. Like if you started a company and it became like Fortune 500 before you turned 30 or something.
Yeah, it'd be like impressive, but not like groundbreaking. Not like if someone did it under 20, for example.
That's true. Yeah.
I suppose if I like ran for president at 35, which was like the first legal age you could do so.
You should do that.
Okay.
Make everyone drive minivans.
Gosh, if I
make everyone take public transport so then they're not on the road in their minivans.
Yeah, well, I think if I were president, I would introduce a graduated license system, similar to how Europe has motorcycle licenses.
Oh.
You have to graduate to different performance levels of cars. So without taking more advanced driver training, you would not be allowed to go out and buy anything over, say, 300 horsepower and then like 600 horsepower.
Yeah, that's good. I think it should also go by age. I think you should keep your license, but then you should have to retake your driving test like every. I honestly think you should have to redo a driving test every like 10, 15 years. But then when you turn like 65, it drops down to every 5 years, and then once you turn 80, it's like every year. Like every time you have to go in and like
double check. The sad thing is, even though that thing I just said about the graduated licenses, typically, from what I understand, most people who get some ultra high performance car and then immediately crash it pretty much only hurt themselves. The people who usually kill families are the ones just texting in a Chevy Equinox.
Yeah.
So
really, people I should street racing though.
But like street racing, usually they're like doing it in a closed area in like some industrial park that again they usually just hurt themselves. I'm generalizing, but I think instead I should just illegalize the Chevy Equinox.
Yeah, that'd
That'd probably be more effective.
Oh, I saw a TikTok this morning of this girl that she had an E90, like like a not a
325.
Yeah, like a whatever. Yeah, like a base model E90.
Yeah.
And she starts out the video showing her car. She's like, "Guys, oh my god, I'm selling my BMW. Like I can't believe it. I love this car so much." Guess what she replaced it with?
I hope not a Chevy Equinox.
Yeah, it was an Equinox.
That would be like the people who actually legitimately tried to give Tedward grief for selling his E90 M3 to get a Civic Si and call them a sellout or whatever. Like, no, it would actually be sacrilegious if he got an Equinox.
Yeah.
I
mean, Equinoxes are just like the fucking worst.
Well, the problem is, and Chevy, I know you're listening, so calm down. The Equinox in and of itself is not a terrible car anymore.
No, that's true.
It's really not bad. And I understand why people lease and or buy them.
Yeah.
it's just the lowest common denominator of human beings and drivers pilot those vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes them woeful.
And the GMC Terrain.
I also have an Equinox anecdote from today. I pulled up to fill up the Mini Cooper at the Kroger gas station, and this nice lady was walking by, and she asked me like if it's a good car, if they're like reliable and everything. I said, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's a new Mini. It's just a 2-liter turbo. Like, yeah, it's going to be middle of the road.
It's fine.
So I was just like, yeah, there's a decent little car. She's like, and you fit okay and everything. I'm like, yeah, they have 5'10", plenty of room and stuff. And then she was like, oh, cool, thank you very much. Like, she kind of carried the conversation a little bit too long, but she was like, I'm going to have to replace my vehicle here soon, so I'm just looking at options and everything. And she walks to the pump next to me, and it's an Equinox. It's like a mid-20 teens.
Ew.
And she was like...
Surprised it wasn't blown up.
She's like, I'm on my second engine, and this one's on its way out too, so I'm literally just driving it until it doesn't move anymore, and then I'm going to have to get something. And I legitimately felt bad for her.
Yeah.
Because... fuck you, GM, for the issues
bad,
that had those. And she's like, yeah, I've heard that this is a really big issue with these. And
every
it's just like,
single person I know that has one of those or has had one of those mid-20 teens Equinoxes, like the sort of bubbly shape one, they've all gone through at least one motor. Yeah, they all blow up. They consume oil like crazy, and then they just die.
This woman was knowledgeable about it enough to say like, yeah, I heard they leak a bunch of oil and have the, and I was just like, I almost said to her, like, you really should just be buying a Toyota, but I didn't feel like carrying the conversation.
Yeah, no, I get that, yeah.
But I was...
if she wants to be cool and get a Mini, then...
Yeah, more power to you. Your life would be vastly improved by going from an Equinox to a Mini, but it's just like, there's the joking, like, oh, Equinox bad, haha. But then there's the legitimate sad aspect of, like, I mean, I know people, too, that, like, just needed a car.
A lot of people don't have any interest in putting in the time and effort it takes to, which they should, but a lot of people just go to the Chevy dealership and they're like, give me an SUV, and then they just get the Equinox because it's the cheapest one. And
it makes sense for a lot of people's lifestyles too. It's decent size, it's practical, all-wheel drive, affordable,
it's cheap, and like 10 of their friends probably have one. Oh my god, I love my Equinox.
Right, yeah.
And then it blows up.
Gosh, that's just it's almost more frustrating that than like the ignition switch scandal thing with GM, because that was like,
I still haven't gotten mine fixed.
Yeah, but you just don't have 17 pounds worth of things hanging.
I just figured there was never any reason.
Yeah.
If it shuts off while I'm driving, then
you'll go, oh no.
I'll go, oh no, put the car into neutral or like turn it back on. Like,
yeah. Well, it's because we're used to the cars like stalling out.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Why did people die from that? They just locked in panic.
Steering locks. You know how like when your car
fully off,
when the keys, and then you like go to turn and it locks. Partially that, and also this power steering goes out and they panic. And
it's electric power steering. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even hydraulic, if the pump's not running, it'll be heavy. Yeah.
You can just turn it back on.
You could
even
do
just
that.
key into the on position.
You could do
steer
that
yourself to the side.
You could, but people panic. Yeah. It's just like the Toyota unintended acceleration.
See, I heard that wasn't real.
Well, it wasn't. People just, and this is really sad, and I'm sorry if any of you millions of people listening had a family member who was affected by this, but they were literally just pressing the gas when they meant to press the brake.
Yeah, floor mat, or one of them was like a floor mat.
Maybe one that you could argue but it was a lot of media blowing it up.
I heard it was a big conspiracy because around that time, the big three were like scared of Toyota, so they were trying to.
I could maybe see that. Car and Driver, not to go back to them all the time, but they did an excellent podcast episode actually on, I think they were hosted on somebody else's, like Malcolm Gladwell's podcast or something.
Oh, okay.
And they debunked that.
It literally wasn't real. And I mean, obviously, we were young during that time. It was like 2008 or whatever. So I was 10 years old. So I believed it. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get a Toyota because the gas pedal sticks to the floor. And But it's just like, no, it's just a boomer driving their Prius and, whatever.
And again, legitimately sad that people died from it. But the human brain, like, if you're fully convinced that your foot is pressing the brake, they, like, just kept doubling down on it rather than, like, taking their foot off, recalibrating, and then making sure it was on the brake. They were like, I'm on the brake, and we're pressing the gas. Sad. Anyway,
it's a sad world we live in.
We are not going to talk about Chrysler Town and Countries or Mercedes. What's your body code? W1.
Yes.
20.
20. Huh?
122.
Nope.
125.
Nope.
128.
Nope.
Well, people are already bored now. So
W126.
126. Mercedes on this episode. We're going to get right into the fun cars. This weekend, we had the ultimate pleasure. Shout out to Lexus, Jaguar, BMW, and Mini for letting us go on an epic road trip around the lower peninsula of the state of Michigan in a Jaguar F-Type R, a Lexus LC 500, a Mini JCW, and a BMW M4, all in convertible spec. Which is kind of neat because all those cars actually also come in a coupe counterpart. It's kind of cool. It's not like we had any like dedicated cars like a Miata or something like that. I think it's only Miata and Boxster that are probably the only two like purpose built, and Mercedes SL that are convertible only cars.
I would honestly argue against Boxster because of the Cayman.
But the Boxster came first.
That's true.
And that is one of the things that made the Boxster so good when it came out, is it was one of the only cars on the market that was designed from the ground up to be a convertible.
And I guess the Cayman has enough differences to where it's, you can call it different.
Right.
It used to have a different engine. I don't think it does anymore.
No, it's essentially the same. Yeah. I mean, they're both literally called 718s.
It used to be. That's true. It used to be more different. Like my generation Cayman has if you got a Boxster S, it was a 3.2, but my car's a 3.4.
Yeah. So. Gotta flex. Those
Gotta flex over 3.4. Yeah. Yep. But I have been looking forward to this trip all year, like ever since you brought it up and created the idea, and it was everything I hoped it would be. It was so cool to be involved in all that. So
yeah, there were it was a little bit of kind of learn as we go things and rolling with the punches, but it ended up being a lot of fun.
Yeah, it went really well.
Yeah, spent time in all the cars.
Yep.
Drove them in a mixture of highway, 55-mile-an-hour roads, tight twisties, photo sections, not even really that much traffic. That was something we lucked out on.
No traffic. I don't remember any.
No, that is really fortunate. I mean, the closest thing we had to traffic was just getting stuck behind crappy GM vehicles.
Yeah,
having to pass
and
them.
Also the rainstorm to where it was so bad that we couldn't see.
There was one point.
We all contemplated pulling over. It was so bad.
Mm-hmm. We learned that leading a group of cars sucks. Because I was always like, there were certain times I was like, I don't know if people want me to be going faster or slower.
Yeah, everyone just kind of rolled with it though.
Yeah. We had Chris Amos of the Topher was there, and Tom from Tedward. I always want to call his channel Tedward Drives, but it's literally just Tedward.
Yeah, we had Tedward with us.
Yep, and great guy. Nathan was with us in this one. Nathan of Daily Motor.
Nathan respawned.
Yep.
And then he despawned again.
Despawned again, he's gone. And of course, Chris and me, and then also your friends Corbett and Dane tagged along, and they were very helpful.
Yep.
And we had Rogue Productions out of Roseville, Michigan, shooting for us. So it was cool. They were setting us up with all sorts of awesome shots. We got some just, I don't use the word epic very often, but I truly mean epic drone and pass by shots along Lake Michigan at about 7 a.m. with the sun coming up. It was really quite good.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see those.
That morning drive through the tunnel of trees when we woke up and just walked straight out to the cars, I regret so much not putting my POV hat on for that. The good part about it is Chris and Tom both did, so we'll be able to watch it there if they decide to post that. But
sure.
I was in the LC 500, and it was one of the most exhilarating drives of my life, being behind the Jag and the M4, and the Mini was probably in front. I don't know who's in the Mini. I was in the back though, so I was able to follow everyone's line, and it was just so cool. Like just being on the tunnel of trees at like 6:30 a.m. when the sun's coming up. There's no people outside to yell at you. There's no other cars, and you just absolutely rip with the roofs down while there's no sun on you. Oh, it was just like, it was so good. Like it was such a good drive.
It was car enthusiast heaven. For anyone who's not familiar, which is probably most people, the tunnel of trees in the state of Michigan is a road called officially called M119, and it tracks up the upper northwest side of the lower peninsula along the coast from Harbor Springs, Michigan up to Cross Village, Michigan. And it's about 20 to 25 miles, I think it's 22, of tight, twisty roads. A few little kind of more stretch out sections, but it's a coastal road. There isn't even a center line on it. And it's
tight.
It's tight, but the asphalt is very smooth.
Yes.
There's not really any potholes or imperfections. It's a well-built road.
The only problem with it is it's like residential in a lot of the...
Yes. Fortunately, most of them are vacation-y homes, but right now is the time to be at your vacation home in northern Michigan.
Right.
So yeah, it's not like a desolate road out in the middle of nowhere. It's not like Tail the Dragon,
right.
for example.
It's hard not to feel like an asshole when you're ripping through there, you know. It wasn't as bad at 6 a.m. Like, it was fine, but then we went through again at like at like noon, and I was like, oh God, just don't make eye contact.
Yeah, we were going slower on the way back and just kind of reining it in a little.
Yeah.
In fact, I was in the BMW M4 on the way back, and I was just cruising along at like 4,000 RPM in fourth gear because that car has so much torque and power that I didn't really need to ever get full throttle. If I did try to get full throttle, it was going to be bad. So I just kind of... But I had you drive the Mini on the way back, and how was that?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I just followed your line and stuck with you the whole time, so...
That Mini JCW has enough punch to be genuinely fun.
Yeah. That's a great little car. It really
is.
Yeah, it was a nice palate cleanse also between the V8 and Turbo 6 cars.
I think the only downside to it I found this morning, and perhaps I was a bit cantankerous throughout today, but I was driving it with its top up, and it rattles a lot.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just a lot of just...
I don't think I've ever driven that car with the top up.
Fair enough. Nor should you.
Yeah.
It's understandable, but...
I think I drove all the others with the top up.
At one point or another.
Yeah, not the Mini though. Yeah. Everything else I drove roof up, but not Mini.
Okay. We had a lot of top-down driving. It was great. It only rained for about a quarter of the trip. The second half of the first day. The first half of the first day was awesome.
It was great.
72 degrees and sunny. I mean, that's like perfect convertible weather because you don't want it to be too hot in a convertible.
You know, you win some, you lose some. We had the nice trade-off there. A little bit of rain was okay.
Yeah.
And it gave us some time to have the tops up and everything. But I will say that the entire trip, and except the part it was raining, I was roof down until like the last hour and a half, 2 hours of our trip back home.
Yeah.
Because I started to like...
You were burned.
Yeah.
You were charbroiled. But you don't look too bad today.
I don't look too bad today. Yesterday I was really red. I was like, oh God, yeah. Just a little update on this.
Yeah. Quite the Apple Watch tan there. Mm-hmm. You are marked. Well, and technically that was the end of the official end of the trip had already passed anyway. So that was just return home. Yeah, that was commuting essentially. Yeah. And I will admit it was nice putting the top up. I was like, oh, this is quite a bit quieter because even the Lexus, which is remarkably serene inside, even at highway speeds at the top, you put the top down and then the wind deflector, which those things make a huge difference built into the back there, put in the rear seats. And it was quite nice with the top down. You could have conversation, your hair stays calm, everything. But put the top up, and it's quite a bit quieter.
Of course,
it was nice.
Yeah.
We learned a lot about the cars on the trip.
Yes.
We did end up concluding that the Lexus LC 500 is still the best grand touring car.
Yeah, we kind of predicted that. But we had to do the important research to figure out if we were right.
That's how science works. You form a hypothesis, and then you test it. Our hypothesis was...
Correct.
Lexus LC 500 is best convertible.
And it was correct.
Or just really car. And it was correct. 471 horsepower, naturally aspirated V8. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah. The way that car just like engulfs you in luxury and soul, and just like it's just perfect, and there's nothing else like it.
I also appreciate that it doesn't insist that you drive like an asshole.
No, it doesn't.
I like getting into it just in the morning. I drove over here this morning.
It's comfy.
Just cruised along. I was in comfort mode still. I only revved up to like 3,000 RPM.
I like old people cars. And that's a really good old people car.
The LC 500 and the Buick LeSabre are like kind of the same idea.
Yeah. No, they're not.
Both a lot of beige. Actually, there's a distinct difference between beige and tan.
Yeah, the Lexus is tan. Beige is like the F-Type roof.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of the F-Type, sore elbow.
Yeah.
If you drive the F-Type for a long period of time.
The F-Type is an awesome convertible to spend 2 hours in, and that's about it.
Yeah.
After that, you get a lot of wind in the cabin. There's no place to put anything other than actually your phone only and a little net behind the seat.
Yeah.
And there are a surprising amount of hard points around the cabin.
Yeah.
The infotainment is unviewable if there's any sunlight outside.
The seats were nice though, but not heated.
Correct.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, 120
comfortable
grand,
but not
heated
heated.
seats. All the seats were comfortable in the car. Even the M4's.
Yeah, I had no issues with any of the seats.
The M4 is just kind of hard to get in and out of, but once you're in, it's fine.
Yeah.
The sad thing about the M4, I was thinking about it as we drove away. We really barely commented on it in the wrap of the video. I liked the M4. There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, no.
I quite liked it. It's just...
It's too perfect.
It's too good. There's no pizzazz. It's the A+ student who
It's
just no
also,
personality.
It's also like, it's very violent and like ridiculous, but it doesn't have like soul.
Yeah.
It's really fast. It's really violent, but it doesn't like speak to me like the Jag and the LC. Like I don't
think M cars really have soul anymore.
Yeah,
the only one I can think
they
is
used to, and then they don't anymore.
The M2 is close, but it's almost only because you can get the manual. I drove the DCT M2 comp. Literally, like, it got dropped off at Car and Driver. We were one of the very first people to drive it in the U.S.
It had the bigger engine, right? Of the M3.
Yeah, and I loved the M2. Like, I've always loved the M2. It's one of my top cars. But the problem with the DCT is it just makes the car so fast that there's no engagement. It's almost like an electric vehicle. You just, and then you're doing 100, and you're like, okay. It just it doesn't all the M cars are missing soul and character, and in a fleet, the Mini, the LC, and the Jag, all full of character, even the Mini.
Yeah,
the BMW, I think that's why we didn't really comment on it much.
Yeah.
I
honestly wish the Mini had a little more too. The Mini it has some, but it could have more. It could be a little rowdier.
You could do something with the steering in the Mini. You could do something with the exhaust. Sorry, I should back up. Excuse me. BMW should do something with the steering. You as a buyer could do something with the exhaust.
Yes.
And those two things would help just kind of liven the car.
Yeah.
And make it a little more engaging. And a manual transmission would help, which you can get.
Not in the convertible.
Yes, you can.
Not the JCW convertible.
It's not on the build configurator, but that's only because of supply issues right now. I confirmed before this trip with Mini PR that you could get the convertible manual. Like, I was like, can we get the car that's coming in a manual? And he said yes. Like, it's not at the very moment. Right. You couldn't like order one tomorrow, but they will be producing it still.
Okay, fair enough.
You can get almost every Mini in a manual still. Mini is like the manual brand right now compared to everyone else.
You can't have a Countryman in manual, can you?
Probably not.
But you can have the Clubman.
I think every like two-door Mini.
Every two-door Mini. So not the Clubman either. So only one Mini you can have with a manual.
But that's a lot of Mini. That's the JCW.
Well, yeah, but that's like saying you can have every Porsche with a manual, but you only have the 911 because
the 911 is 19 different models, so that's still quite comprehensive.
I know, but like,
Chris is upset.
You can probably have the Clubman with a manual still. You used to be able to get a Countryman with a manual. Remember the Paceman?
Yeah.
The Paceman was like a two-door Countryman, wasn't it? Or was it a two-door?
I think it was a two-door Clubman.
No, but it didn't have the barn doors, though. I think the Paceman sat pretty high. I think it was a two-door Countryman.
I think the Paceman was ugly.
It was ugly. They made it for like a year.
Mini takes the stage July 9th through July 17th. Good for them.
Yeah, right. they told us about this at the Mini press event. We all got invited.
They were really excited about that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask for a Mini for my birthday. It's July 12th.
We should.
I don't know what other
Mini.
We could get that green one. We could get the remarkably green manual S convertible that you and I drove around.
Oh, I liked that car.
Yeah,
that was fun. Too. This guy has some rev hang, but
yeah.
Mini hardtop 4-door. Okay, see if you can get.
Actually, this is what we should be doing. This will tell us if it's available because they have to certify them.
Oh, right.
Mini Clubman. Manual S Clubman.
Very good.
Yep. So you can get a Mini Cooper S Clubman with a manual.
Yeah, check the Countryman because I'm curious on that too. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you could get it.
Yeah, they really do offer a lot. What do we look, Countryman?
Yeah.
The only thing I could see not is because it's really just a BMW X1.
They're all automatic.
Yeah. Let's check a 2021 real quick. Mini.
Isn't it just an X1? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's just a BMW X1. Countryman. Auto.
Yeah,
right,
so I think this newest generation, I think they axed it. But the last generation of Countryman, you could have manual.
Yep. And then obviously all
they only make 3 cars, don't they?
Yes.
Cooper, Clubman, and Countryman.
Yep.
No more Pac-Man. I used to see those cars running around. People would take the E out of Paceman, so it would just say Pac-Man.
Wouldn't that be? Yeah, I guess that would be Pac-Man.
Yeah.
You get this car, the 1.5 manual Cooper, is actually a lot of fun.
Is that a naturally aspirated 1.5 liter?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably so fun. Just bang it off the rev limiter.
No, sorry, it's a turbo.
Oh, is it turbo?
It's a turbo, but it's still with the manual.
Oh, turbo, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, you can have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a blast. I love slow manual cars. They're so fun. You just floor it everywhere, and you can really be really engaged and not break any laws.
Well, and Mini made this Oxford edition.
Oh, they always do weird editions with Union Jacks on them.
Right, but this one, what the special edition about this is it was only for college students or military. And it was, look at that, $20,000.
Was it manual?
Yes, it was the base car. It was a manual 1.5 liter, 2-door, hardtop Mini, but it's $20,000.
You could only buy it if you had a .edu or a .gov email.
Pretty much. Yeah. And it's probably more than that. You probably have to like prove that.
Yeah, right.
And you could get the 4-door for $21,600. You get the 8.8-inch touchscreen, leatherette, digital, the Union Jack tailgates, taillights, everything. It was a fairly stripper model, but it includes an additional $3,000 in standard equipment, but the MSRP is $3,000 lower.
Oh. So they don't make it anymore?
I don't know if they're doing it for 2023 or 22 model year or anything.
Oh, that's 2022 Oxford. Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely
you can
recent.
Still get it.
Yeah, probably. You can also add the 7-speed dual clutch and a panoramic moonroof for an additional $15,000.
7-speed dual clutch. Okay, had that. The JCW is 8-speed auto, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like that's probably wrong. I don't think BMW uses dual clutch in anything anymore.
However, I noticed while you were on EPA.gov, there was an automatic S7.
Oh, that would be
option.
a dual clutch. The S convertible is a dual clutch. Interesting.
We should drive one of those. It's probably decent.
It probably is. Neat. Yeah, the Mini was a decent little car, and honestly, there are a lot of people who could really enjoy owning one because you get 4 usable seats.
Yep.
You get decent fuel economy, decent power, decent amenities, decent size, and all at starting for an S like $38,000-ish. You know, it's not cheap, but it's not $100,000.
They're expensive, but sometimes you gotta pay a little bit more for something special. So.
And there aren't too many cheaper convertibles out there anymore, especially now that the Beetle's gone.
Yeah. Sad. Yeah. But you think the Beetle's gonna come back? Don't you?
Do. I could. If there's not an electric Beetle on sale by 2000. What year is it? 22. By 2026, I will
eat your own hair.
I'll eat my own hair.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's an old Top Gear gag.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
No.
There was I forgot which one of them it was, but they made a bet and lost, and they took some of their hair out and fried it in an omelet and ate it because they lost.
I actually vaguely remember. Was it Hammond that had to eat the hair?
No. No,
I don't.
I think it was actually James.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, fun fact. We got approved for the mileage request in the Volvo.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna drive to
Chris will be driving
Florida or something.
You're probably still gonna end up only doing 750 miles.
Yeah, but at least now there's less anxiety and less pressure to not.
He says, "Congratulations on your wedding. Enjoy the car. Looking forward to seeing it prominently placed in the video," with a winky face. So,
how can I drive it onto the lawn?
Well, I told him that you would get a photo of the S90, the S500, and the Rolls Royce.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So it'll be in good company.
That'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's unfortunate that the Volvo's not brown, but it's gray, so it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it bad that if all 3 of those cars were sitting in front of me and I had to choose one to drive on the road trip, it would absolutely be the Volvo?
It's not bad. The S90 is a great car. But so are the other 2.
Yeah,
so.
The Cullinan, I wouldn't want the liability.
Fair enough.
And the S500, while it's a very good car and, perfect, I think that the sound system is just this much better in the S90.
Yeah.
And that's important for a long trip.
It is. It certainly is. Well, here's the thing. This is what I very much appreciate about Volvo sound systems is the 3 best brands that I've reviewed are the Lexus Mark Levinsons in the SUVs, the GX and the LX, the Volvos, and the Mercedes Burmesters. Now, the Mercedes sound the most artificial. They have a lot of fancy things in there. There's the 4D bullshit where it vibrates your seats and the tweeters rotate out. It's a show. It's an effect. They're going for max effect. Still quite good. On the other end of the spectrum is the Lexus's. Very boring. There's still a CD player. There's like no adjustments for EQ or anything. It's like, this is just a good system. Volvo strikes the perfect balance. You have certain gimmicks like the jazz club, the concert hall that you can put in, everything like that.
Yeah.
But it's still a genuinely just good natural sound. So it's a nice balance between the two.
Yes.
Yeah. However, I did notice two frustrating things in the most recent Volvo that we had, the 2022 XC60.
Okay.
First of all, they still have the Jazz Club and the Gothenburg Symphony Orchestra Hall, but they've removed the descriptions and the titles of both of those in the infotainment
it's less
system.
special.
It's less special, yeah. And I sense that the new Volvo overlords are starting to like strip that away.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's always things
that's the best part of all of those.
Yeah, you have to have that
Dang
character.
it.
Like, what's the whole point of like a gimmick is to overplay the gimmick, and yeah, it's kind of gimmicky to have like a reproduced concert hall sound in a car.
Yeah.
But brag about it then. It was neat. There's this whole paragraph in there that would say like, it's the Gothenburg Symphony Orchestra Hall, and it's here, and we did this to make the. And the other one was the Nefertiti Jazz Club, which is some club in Stockholm that's like famous for jazz and everything. Now it just says Jazz Club. Yeah. So that's frustrating. And second of all, with the new Android Automotive system, you cannot plug a USB drive into it and play your USB music into the car. And that's frustrating for people who care about high fidelity music, because like when I do my sound test, it's like 40 megabyte song files for just like a 3-minute song. It's uncompressed. It's supposed to get all the different sound elements. Can't do that. I got to go through Bluetooth, which compresses it.
Dang.
I know, by like a factor of 10. Wow. So it's still going to sound good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But true like audio nerds want that.
We'll see in the S90 if they still, for one, have descriptions and also have a USB port.
I could see the S90 being a little bit more integrated. It could be on the previous system still.
Yeah, I hope it is.
Yeah.
That brown S90 we drove last year. God, it's been over a year since we drove that car.
Yeah.
That changed my entire perspective on sound systems.
Right. Well, I sat you down in it. And
you did. You were like, all right.
I'm like, this is like a
Pay
genuinely
attention.
good. Yeah, because what people don't understand, they'll get in their Nissan Altima and be like, this Bose system's really good. But when you listen to a truly, genuinely good sound system with good audio sources, you hear elements of music that you might have heard this song 50 times in your life, but you'll hear little bits of an instrument in the background or something.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. And the artist wanted you to hear that, but 99% of the time, whether it's like on Sirius XM or FM or just a shitty sound system or whatever, or headphones, you're not gonna pick that up.
Yeah.
Speakers can only reproduce so much.
Right.
So be in a system like that S90, and it's twofold. It's the impressiveness of the system, and then also the quietness of the car while you're driving.
That's true. That's where Lexus kind of gets theirs too, because the SUVs are remarkably quiet on the highway.
And I think that's what helped the i4 BMW achieve S tier status.
Yes.
It's so quiet.
Yeah,
and I think
BMW,
the iX is going to be even better.
I was just going to say that. We've been hearing all this shit about how the iX is so brilliant and so quiet on the highway. And every single person I've talked to, they all agree it's ugly, for one. But then all of them are just like, it's just the best EV. Yeah. Like I've talked to so many different journalists at Mama and at whatever event I went to last, Toyota. They're all just like, dude, the iX, like Miles was just like, dude, the iX is like primo. So I'm excited.
Made it so ugly, but
I know.
I'm almost like
Makes
over the looks at this point.
I know, me too.
Like, whatever. You don't see it when you're in it.
Yeah.
Just don't drive by any mirrors or large
windows. And to be honest with you, I'd rather it be ugly than be boring looking.
I do agree with you on that one.
Yes.
I could drink to that.
So thank you, BMW.
Thank you, BMW, for not
for making it ugly.
Does that mean you're okay with the bangle butt too?
No. Still no.
Well,
no, because there was not a previous iX that was the most beautiful car ever made, okay? You don't want to get me started on this.
Fair enough. Well, on July 11th, we will be receiving our Presser iX, and we will determine if it's the new best.
If it's best
system.
EV.
Yeah, well, best EV and just best
sound system.
And
yeah,
maybe
is it it's probably a Harman Kardon in
probably
there.
Harman Kardon. Yeah. They might have squeezed a Bowers and Wilkins in there. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah,
that's what's in the Volvo. Yeah.
Yep.
Bowers and Wilkins.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Bang & Olufsen in a lot of the other cars, and then Burmester and
Ford. Bang & Olufsen has taken over all the Ford stuff.
The Bang & Olufsen Unleashed in the Fords is actually quite decent.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Ford sound system, even the base Ford sound systems in cars aren't
fine.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the F-150 and the Expedition actually impressed me. The one that was really weird that impressed me recently was the Jeep Compass. That's
Alpine.
On my, yeah,
dude. Yeah.
It's like B tier, B plus. And
that was a good sound system.
I'm so used to shitting on cheap Stellantis products.
That was not a cheap Stellantis. That thing was like 40 grand. It was not
cheaply
cheap.
made.
Okay,
like should be cheap Stellantis products. And I just, even after I reviewed the sound system, still in my mind I thought this is a bad sound system. And then I was editing the video. I'm like, wait, I gave it a B. It's good. So this morning, someone they commented on my BMW X3 bass sound system review, and they were like, is this better than, is the Alpine in the Compass better than this? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That bass system in the X3 was like not very good.
No.
It was like a C, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. C is average.
Yeah, I think the only cars that I've reviewed that have gotten these new vehicles.
Oh, I know one of them. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Subaru Outback.
Yeah, I think that was one. And pretty much all Hondas outside of the Bose system.
The Ridgeline was terrible.
Yep, very bad. And the Ford Maverick.
Oh, really? The Maverick's bad?
Maverick's bad. The base system. It's actually better than I expected it to be.
You need to review the Bang & Olufsen Maverick system.
Maybe it's quite good. Have to trade
I've
my
never
Maverick
listened to it, so.
Except I can't trade a Maverick in and get a new one because you can't buy a new one. Yep. Fun fact, speaking of Volvos and Mavericks, Alyssa is scoping out her next vehicle because she wants to own her own at some point and not just mooch off of Daily Motor. Yeah.
Nice.
And she, at this point, now mind you, this is still a ways away, but at this point she's narrowed it down to two cars.
Okay.
One is the Volvo XC60 T8 Recharge Extended Range.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Though not the Pulsar engineered one. Just the you can get like a
just the regular one.
Yeah, without the fucking brakes and everything like that. Yeah,
you don't need any of that.
Really don't. So that's one.
Okay.
She said she did check out the V60, but unfortunately the V60 only comes in Polestar engineered. So she said the V60 starts at the same price of the like one she built of the XC60. So it's like
might as well.
I know it's a shame, but she did consider the wagon.
Yeah, and when you are putting a baby in there, you don't have to bend over.
True, but she is short, so that helps.
True.
Yep. And the other one she's considering, and her recognizing the fact that the XC60 is not a cheap car, is the RAV4 Prime.
Both great options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still vote for the Volvo just because Volvos are cool.
I'd vote for the Volvo too, and I'd feel a little defeated if she ended up getting a RAV4 just because I know the RAV4 is a good car, but I almost don't want... It's just too conformist for me.
Mm-hmm.
The XC60, I could be like, my wife bought a Volvo.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Right. That's so sick. And also, like, just the way that she has access to, like, being able to sit in all these cars and drive all these cars, like...
It's an informed decision.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. A RAV4 Prime would be like, okay, like, I get it.
It's a good car, but no, I get it, though.
Yeah.
It'd be a bigger flex for you to be like, my wife has a Volvo.
Yes, exactly.
XC60 T8 extended range.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
I'm trying to get her to get a Chevy Volt, and I'm still convinced that it might happen. Because the Volt is one of the best used car options you can get right now, especially for someone in her position who, like, whenever she does leave the house...
Is that just like shitty GM interior bullshit in that?
Yeah, but who gives a shit?
It probably smells bad in there.
You have a shitty GM interior in your car, and you love that car.
I do love that car.
Yeah, so it's more about...
that car is fun to... Well, I guess the Volt's fun to drive.
The Volt's fun to drive.
Yeah.
It's the only plug-in hybrid that gets over 50 miles per gallon, or not miles per gallon, but miles of range in the plug-in aspect of it. And even after that, it still gets good fuel economy, like 38 to 40.
I've never driven a Volt, so I don't want to talk any shit on it.
Yeah, they're really not too bad. GM small cars are not bad. They're just driven by shitty people.
So, right. And we just talked about this with the Equinox.
Exactly. We're coming full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Volt's pre-car craziness, you could get like a well-equipped 2018 or so with like 30,000 miles for like 18 grand.
Oh, what are they now? Like 25?
Like 20s, low 20s, unfortunately. But they'll come back down. And
Hopefully.
seat 5 people. It's a lift back. Big plus there.
It is.
Yeah. And you could get it serviced at your local Chevy dealer.
Get a extra set of wheels and tires for when you're going to the track or autocross.
Oh, you could do that.
I bet that thing would like rip on autocross.
It might. Well, the battery's charged.
Yeah, the GM team, like the GM engineers, back when I used to do SCCA autocross, they ran a Volt. And
Did they really?
Oh yeah. They ran a Volt. It was stock other than wheels and tires, and it would corner so hard that the front bumper would hit the ground. They would go around corners and they would scrape the front bumper. Is how hard that thing would corner.
You're making me erect.
Yeah. Oh, you would have loved it. It was really cool to see that thing out there, and they would always win their class. It was so fast.
What's the class for that? Like shouldn't be on track?
Yeah, right. No, it was just like it was like F Street or something. Like it competed against like
autocross cars.
Yeah, it competed against just like other base model shit, like base model Fiestas and Chevy Sonics and all that sort of thing. Although generally there was like not really anyone running in their class.
Right,
so like
because anyone who gives a shit is moving up.
Yeah, they drive in STs and stuff. But yeah, it was really cool to see that Volt out there.
Yeah, the Volt is a very Charlie car. And
it very, very much is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually in my top 3, like if I had to go out and buy a car today.
Okay. Lexus LC 500 would be the first choice.
I sent Chris a Snapchat today of me at Chase Bank in the LC, and it's just like getting out my 6-figure loan.
Here it comes. 112 grand.
Yep. No, my top 3 like go to if I had to buy a car today cars are Chevy Volt, Volkswagen GTI, and it's like a tie between the LeSabre and the Town and Country. Most because I already own a Town and Country, but it kind of spans 3 different, like the most practicals.
Yeah,
it's like practical. The GTI is a little bit more fun. The Town and Country, LeSabre are both more shitty cheap. So it's like, what are your needs? But like, if someone put a gun to my head and said like, what are your 3 top cars to buy right now? Those 3.
I'd probably go like, if I still have everything I had now and I like had to buy something, I have no access to my other cars, I'd probably go like Lexus GX or something. Really? Like some big Toyota SUV.
What do you do that requires big Toyota SUV-ness?
Carrying things, like big boxes when I'm shipping stuff. And other people.
Reals.
I just, I like
this
the GX.
This is your list. You
I
didn't
like
give me
the
shit for
GX.
mine.
Yeah. I didn't give you shit about.
Well, you did start to get on the
Sabre.
Chevy Volt's interior, so I get one jab too.
You got me back.
Okay.
Oh shit! I don't even know what else. It'd probably like a GX, and then I don't have any desire for like anything that isn't just like an old piece of shit right now.
It's because you own all the cars you desire outside of like
the $100,000
things.
Right. I know, obviously a Lexus LC 500, but I'm saying realistic things that I could just go out and buy. Like I could swing like a mid like 2000s GX.
Yeah. You'd get the GX over an LX.
I wouldn't really have a preference. The GX is just cheaper. So.
Or what about a Land Cruiser? Land Cruiser is probably more expensive than LXs, right?
Yeah, they're like the same. Okay. Land Cruiser and LX. The GXs you can actually get pretty reasonably still. They're more expensive than they used to be, but so is everything. Okay. I genuinely don't know what else I would even want. A truck of some sort, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, to tow. Learn how to tow. Although I could tow with a GX.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Lexus GX.
Fair enough. Okay. Interesting. You have Topher influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, he is my dad, so
Yeah. I would be tempted, and if I looked into it deeper, it's just the supply would be much harder. Would be an SC 430.
Yeah.
What's wrong with those? That should be a very much you car.
No, yeah, they're okay. I like the first gen SCs quite a bit better.
They were quite cooler.
I don't dislike that car. Yeah. I just like it just doesn't do it for me. I don't think it's very attractive.
Yeah, I think they could look a lot better too.
Yeah. But I mean it'll just run forever,
Exactly.
It's a convertible.
The practicality of it starts to make it look more appealing. It's like dating a woman who's like a 5, but like she's really funny, she cooks great.
A woman that's what?
A 5 out of 10.
Okay. I thought you said dating a woman who is 5.
Oh, who is 5. Yeah.
It's like, what? Who is a 5?
A 5.
Okay. I gotcha.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, C tier. But she cooks really well. She's very funny. You like getting along with her. She gets along with all your friends, all the things. She just gets more attractive.
She has no health issues.
Yeah. Financially sound, mentally stable.
That's the Lexus SC 430.
Yep.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would go for a first gen SC with either engine.
The problem is every one of those has been vaped in and slammed.
Oh, they're all clapped.
Everyone.
Literally all of them. And if you want one that isn't clapped, it's like the same price as an SC430. So like,
get one of those.
I would still get an older one though, because I'm weird.
That could be another car challenge for us. Which, side note, we need to start writing these car challenge ideas down.
Yeah, we do, because we need to stop giving our ideas to TFL, because they're listening.
They are.
Yeah.
Another one would be you have to go out. You have to buy a car that's been ruined by
and then put it back to stock.
No. Sorry, I guess
that would be funny.
That would be funny. That would be another good one. But just you have to buy a model of a car that has been colloquially ruined, like Fiesta ST, for example.
Yeah.
I'd love to own a Fiesta,
no, they've
but
all
every
been
single
ruined.
one has been vaped in, smoked in, and slammed and riced. So you can't buy them anymore. And if you can find one, it's $100,000. So it's same with the SC. What are some other ones? Scion, the FRS,
Cobalt
BRZ,
SS,
Cobalt
Focus
SS.
ST.
Yeah.
Scion TC. Did you say Scion TC?
I actually didn't say TC. I said FRS, but same
Scion
with TC.
TC.
Yeah.
Hyundai Tiburon.
Yeah. Genesis.
Genesis Coupe. Nissan 350Z, 370Z. Yeah, FRS BRZ. Infiniti G35.
Oh my gosh.
G37.
Every single one of those is actually a rebuilt title sold out of Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah. And then the ones that aren't rebuilt title stock are clean title and ruined by Rice modifications.
Yes. So that'd be a fun car challenge if you have to find a car that you have to save a car, essentially. We'd start the video with like the Sarah McLachlan, like SCP APSE or whatever, like every day hundreds of perfectly good enthusiast cars are ruined by degens who like to clap them out and put aftermarket exhausts from eBay on them.
That would be good.
Yes, that would be the video.
That would be a funny one. Yeah, we could get. I mean, we could swing some of them for cheap, like a Scion TC or
the Lexus you were talking about.
Yeah,
that SC.
Yeah, you could get a shitty one for like $3,000.
Right. But you have to find a good shitty one. That's the hard thing.
Why do you have to get a good shitty one?
Because the point of the challenge.
There's
two separate.
We're not buying one that's riced out.
You could do that. You could do the one that's riced out and have to put it back to stock, which would be good. That'd be a good challenge. But there's also the idea of trying to find one that hasn't been riced yet and saving it from the potential of being riced
and putting it in the garage.
Yes,
okay.
and just having it. Yeah, because there's another element to this concept in that. Are these cars overhyped? Like, are we, is the SC actually a piece of shit? Yeah. Chris and I had I had the idea, but Chris and I discussed another fun car challenge.
You're giving away all our ideas.
I know. Okay. I'm just
no, it's okay. Do it.
Giving individual.
It's okay.
That we'd go out with 3 people and pick straws, and there'd be a person 1, person 2, person 3 for priority. Person 1, we drive out down the road. And the first used car we find under a certain budget, $10,000 maybe.
That's a big budget. We must be getting a good ass sponsor for this video. Holy shit.
Off the record, it's just boing.
Yep.
But when we find it, the first person gets first right of refusal. You have to either buy it or pass to the next person. And if the second person passes too, gets to the third person, they have to buy it. Whatever first car we come across on the side of the road for sale, have to buy it. You can negotiate with the seller, but you have to purchase it. You have to leave with the car. And then we continue driving until the second car, and then the first person gets right of refusal, second person would have to buy it. And by the third car, if the first person hasn't bought one yet, they have to purchase that last one. They can't go back and say like, oh shit, no, I liked the first car better. No, you have to purchase it. So if it's a Cadillac with a North Star, you are purchasing that Cadillac with a North Star.
Yeah. So I guess another question is, does the car have to be running? It should have to be a running and driving car.
A running and driving car parked on the road.
Because if it's like a car on the side of the road with like no engine, then what are you supposed to do?
It'd have to be a running and driving like functional car for I'd say like over $1,000 and under whatever our top budget is.
Right.
Yeah. Window there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now this would be very fun because we could just go out and drive in the boonies. There's always cars for sale.
We'd have to set some sort of route that would make it interesting.
Yeah.
But we'd go along just like in Peggy or something, and someone driving, and the 3 of us scouting out, and then when we'd see it, we'd have to go up and inspect it.
We should do this.
Yeah, I think
we should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have like 10 different cheap car challenges that I want to do. So we've got
someday we'll make one happen.
We
We literally already
own
about it. two cheap cars that we need to do a challenge with, and we just haven't yet.
Which ones? The Escape and
the Escape and your
E46.
Yep. Yeah, the 300,000 mile car challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think should be take to the racetrack and just see which one lasts longer.
Which will be mine.
It might be.
Unless the cooling system explodes. I don't really want to explode that car.
Or if your rear subframe
or if
just
the
departs
subframe
the car
just
on the corner.
leaves. Yeah.
This would be what would happen. I would drive so gingerly in the van that I would be as slow and steady as the race.
No, the Escape.
Oh, sorry, the Escape. Yes. I was thinking Peggy.
Just drive it in EV mode the whole time.
Right, that you would be tempted with your manual transmission and everything to run the BMW hard, inevitably breaking it, and then all I'd have to do is last longer and make it to the to your point, and then I'd win. Yeah. Plus, I have new tires.
So do I.
Oh, you do?
That BMW has a brand new set of Michelins on it.
Wow, so your car is also worth more in rubber than it is in car.
It's probably a $600-$800 set of Michelins on there, and they're brand new.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure they're ruined now because they've just been sitting in the same spot for 6 months. But
gosh darn.
When I got the car, which was over a year ago. Oh my God, yeah, it's just I'm coming up on a year on the S-Class.
Wow.
Which now has new doors, which is nice.
Yes.
They're just not
it doesn't
installed.
have them yet. You own the new doors.
I own new doors for it. Yeah.
It's like saying your child has food to eat, but it's like you haven't given the food to the child yet.
Yeah, no, that's true. No,
eventually
it
will have food.
And also, I don't have all four. I only have three. Because some degen at the junkyard broke the window in the fourth one.
Degens, man.
Yeah.
I'll have to deal with them. Another fun fact. Good old Moran, who watches our videos regularly and is
he wants to sponsor it?
Not quite, but kind of in an indirect way, yes, because he has a Honda Grom that he's recently swapped a 300cc engine into it. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Grom comes stock with a 125cc motor. So it is quite a significantly larger engine in it. And he would like to donate it to the channel at some point, perhaps.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was this after hearing about what happened to your Grom?
With my Grom,
That's very polite.
That was taken from me from a crappy GM product.
But it was a van. I feel like if there were any crappy GM product you could have hit, it would have indeed been a tan Chevy Venture. Was it tan? It was white. Okay, so I missed the mark a little.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Did you damage it at all? I hope you did.
Very small.
Like a shame. Dent. I wish you would have I mean, I wish
I wish you would have just careened into that van and smoked it.
I don't wish that you would have been injured, but I wish that their van would have gotten damaged more.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yes, but I am excited about this Grom that might come from our benefactor Moran, and I was debating on whether it would be better to drive and truck out to get it, or fly out and drive the bike back, ride it back cross country.
Okay. Nope. Yeah. Okay. Let me come and I'll buy a Phaeton and we'll drive back together.
Well, it's funny because I did consider you should actually have to come for some sort of like chase vehicle.
I'll come with you and buy an excursion or a.
Right, and we'll see who makes it further, because I'll be driving a modified motorcycle with an engine twice as big as its stock motor.
Yeah. How much power does that make? Like 40?
Probably not that much, but still probably a lot. Let me see.
What is it? Just out of a different Honda?
It's out of a large, 300cc Honda bike.
Bless you.
$30. Wow. That is 3 times more than the Grom made stock.
Makes sense because the engine's 3 times the size.
Essentially, nearly 3 times, yeah.
That would probably be very fast because how much does the Grom weigh? Like 200 pounds?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. Power to weight's pretty impressive on that. Yeah.
Probably better than a Veyron.
Yeah, it's probably quite good. So I think that'd be a lot of fun and probably the way I'll die.
In the arms of...
Every day, Charlie considers getting a 360 Honda Grom.
Alyssa, if Alyssa's listening,
she isn't.
Tell him no.
Yeah. Everyone in the comment section beg Alyssa to not let me get this bike, and she won't read any of them.
Yeah.
She doesn't watch Daily Motor. Too good for it.
Yeah.
Making a lot of money. I've told her I look forward to the day when she makes more money than I do at Daily Motor. I'll be proud of her. She's doing a really good job at work stuff. But she's like, would you ever want to be a stay-at-home dad? I'm like, fuck yeah. Just collect my YouTube residuals, shoot a few sound tests, and hang out with my kids. Hell yeah, you go
And
work.
give me the majority of all the shit.
Yeah, literally, just hand all the fuel economy tests and reviews to Chris. Let him make a bunch of cash.
Alyssa, why aren't you rich yet?
Yeah, Alyssa, get on it.
Come on, Alyssa.
Yeah.
In return, it'll make me rich.
There you go. We're all in this together.
1 million YouTube dollars.
1 million. Cue
also,
High School Musical.
Anyone that's listening to this right now, go to Topher Drives and just play all my videos on loop.
It's funny. I used to do that when Daily Motor was small as well. I would just have one tab while I was working on my computer open of just all my videos playing on loop. Got to get the watch time up.
I'm like halfway there now.
Whoa, you're halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
Living on YouTube.
Yeah. So
speaking of Copart, I tried looking up what's the Copart section. Yeah. Actually, I think last night laying in bed, I had an idea for our podcast. Oh, that was my idea.
I'm going to see if I have any saved.
I'd like to start a new section, maybe, of the podcast where it's a Q&A section, and you all who are listening can send us questions in the comment section of the previous episode, which would be this one, and next week we will answer them. Anything about the cars, anything about literally any car, we could give you an opinion on. It might be wrong, it might be ill-informed, and it might be sarcastic, but we will answer questions about cars or anything in life. So
ask us about things that aren't cars.
Yes. For example, Chris is into expensive T-shirts that are black.
This isn't expensive. It
No?
was like $10.
Oh, it's not a Supreme.
It is Supreme, but it was like $10.
Where do you get a $10 Supreme shirt?
From the Supreme website.
Macklemore told me they're like $50.
Macklemore. No, it comes in a 3-pack. I bought this like 3 years ago. They come in a 3-pack and it's like $35 for 3 of them. I see. It's literally just a Hanes T-shirt.
The Supreme logo.
Yeah, and you pay the extra for the little red logo.
I see.
The Bentley Mulsanne that hit a tree got an auction date.
Wow.
It goes in 9 days, 16 hours, 3 minutes.
Is it at $5,000?
No, it's at $0.
Oh, what a steal.
I think we should buy this.
That's just an ornament?
And cut it in half and put the back side of it like it's running into the office.
Yeah.
That would be so sick.
That would be
Have
neat.
and then we could remove the trunk and make it a couch.
Ah, yes. For all the times that we sit on the couch around here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe we would want to because we'd be sitting in a Bentley.
Yeah. That is a good point. Sure, Bentley'd appreciate that. Yep.
Yeah.
On Copart earlier today, I looked up Chevy Volts.
Of course you did.
There were none around worth buying.
That's
which
unfortunate.
is surprising because you'd think Michigan would be a good region for that, but California's probably better.
I don't really have anything good. I've got a E38 7 Series, which no one cares about because it's my kink. And then I also have a Porsche Cayenne S,
not a manual,
which no one cares about because it's
a Cayenne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
well,
cars
you've been busy literally driving $100,000 sports cars.
I've been so busy. June, I pretty much, anyone that asked me to do anything in June, I just like told them no. I'm like, June is done. Like the last week of June where I actually don't have anything going on, I'm going to like lay low, just film what I need to film, edit what I need to edit, and do nothing extra.
Well, I appreciate that the 2 things I've asked you to do this month, you've accepted.
What did you ask me to do?
Well, drive 1,000 miles in $100,000 convertible sports cars and
you're welcome.
attend a wedding in an S90.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, both good things.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And drive all the way to Plymouth tonight.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate your sacrifice.
I know that. Well, this week especially for you, having anything added on.
Yeah.
Is just probably not good. So.
Right. Yeah. I do recognize my my last week of singlehood.
You should.
I'm just stressed out that the nearest strip club to Harbor Springs, Michigan is 2 hours away. So I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Just gonna have to go watch nature or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to tune in to Adele's album 25.
That's right.
For this episode. That's your music homework.
We should come prepared and find something that's
for
26.
Yeah. If anyone has any 26 music suggestions, send them to us. And we will be back we will be back next week. It's 2 weeks from now that we won't be back because I will be in Switzerland.
Yeah, and he's not taking me with him.
Right.
He's only taking his wife.
I'm actually not leaving for Switzerland until later that day. And you and I are going to a Hyundai event the day that I fly out to Switzerland. So, maybe we'll record a podcast in the morning.
All right, I love it.
Perhaps we will. And if we don't, I'll actually release the first episode ever of the Daily Motor Podcast.
Ooh, people aren't going to want us to record it because they're going to want the
hear
lost footage or the lost audio.
Right, which if you do want to hear it, sign up to become a Daily Motor member, and you can hear it right now. But for all of you other...
That might make me sign up.
Yeah. Very well. Well, hey, you're not paying for Motor Trend anymore.
Oh, I still am. I need to cancel that.
Yeah, so you could cancel your Motor Trend TV subscription and actually pay less to get a daily motor subscription.
Just give you my money.
Well, the sad thing is you're actually giving YouTube part of the money, but you'd give me some of it.
Okay.
I'll reimburse you the whatever I'd get from that, which would probably be like
$2.
$2-ish. $2 a month if you'd like, in order to be a Daily Motor member.
Okay.
And we will talk at and look at you in a week. We're Charlie and Chris with Daily Motor, and as always, drive safe. For you members, everyone else can just drive on.